Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to step on the ice for some biscuits and penalties. I'm Cobra, and I'm joined by Alex once again. Hopefully, we'll be joined by some other people, but we had a very interesting week this week. After all, it was the trade deadline. Alex, say hello.
Hello.
All right, great to hear from you once again. So the trade deadline happened. It's obviously a big move. Not a big move, but a big deal. It's the trade deadline is always big, especially in the NHL, because one big player can effectively change the course of the entire Stanley Cup playoffs. Sometimes a team just needs that one piece to put them over the top. That's normal, and sometimes that push that move can make a great playoff push. Sometimes it could lead to a Stanley Cup. Other times it can lead to disaster. It has happened way before. Alex, you want to chime in a little bit?
Yeah, it was a crazy deadline. A lot of players in the midst of the playoff push made massive moves to hopefully propel themselves deeper into the race as we are winding down the last half of the season, because the season ends about mid-April before we hit the big one, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah. And also, the trade deadline gives an opportunity for the bottom feeding teams to potentially gear up and rebuild for the future. I definitely saw that in the trade deadline. The Penguins definitely offloaded some veteran players to try to get younger, because as friend of the channel, Urinating Tree has said for years now, the Penguins need speed and youth, and not waste their first round pick like they always do, because they just need to keep the band together. Well, here's the thing. They kept the band together for so long. Now they're, I believe, the bottom of the Metropolitan Division. I mean, we'll find that out later in the standings. But, looking at the trade deadline, Alex, and I know you have it in front of you, you know what? There's some big things that happened here. Cody Glass traded from the Penguins to the Devils. Yeah. Peter Mrazek returns home to the Red Wings. Charlie Coyle is an Avalanche again. Rantanen goes to the Dallas for a big haul, by the way. Scott Lawton goes away from the Flyers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We can go on and on, but we don't have that much time. But you know what? So, Alex, I want you to rank your top 3 trades of the trade deadline in your opinion. What was the biggest moves?
Number one, personally for me, is Brandon Marchand.
Wait, is this your top one, or is this your third ranked?
My top one.
All right. Okay, so you're basically going down. You're basically giving everyone the main course first. I would start with
indeed.
All right, it's your call, man. Go ahead.
I think the biggest one, my number one, is Brandon Marchand going from the Bruins to the Panthers, and a shocking conditional second round pick that can be split to a first or a second, with playing time in the finals and playing time in the playoffs for 50% for Marchand, for the defending champs. A shocking in-divisional conference trade that no one expected out of the gates. And especially not me, as a massive Bruin hater, I was not expecting him to go anywhere but outside of the Metropolitan and the Eastern Conference.
Right. All right, what's your number 2?
Number 2 is Mikko Rantanen going to the Stars and the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes required him, I think 2 or 3 months ago. Couldn't get a deal done and trades him away for multiple first round picks, a conditional pick, and another player involved with that. A massive deal and a blunder for the Hurricanes to not have the money or the cap space to re-sign Mikko Rantanen. He gets traded for a massive haul that could benefit the Hurricanes or crash and burn them if they don't use those picks wisely in the years to come.
And your number 3.
A number 3 would probably be let's see here. So many trades only about. It's going to be probably Dylan Sprong going from the Kraken to the Devils to the Kraken for a 7th-round pick. The former Washington Capital couldn't get it done. Was signed to the Kraken in the offseason. Gets traded. Goes to the Devils, excuse me, in the offseason. Gets traded for a 7th-round pick. He's a good player. He's good with the puck. He's good shooting-wise. The Kraken are not in the position they want to be in the playoff hunt. So this is a good move for them to offload a player that can get a draft pick for and hopefully use that later. It's a little low draft pick in the later rounds of the draft, but we all have seen it in every league. There is a spotlight in the later rounds with every sport, especially, with Tom Brady being as big as he is, being a late round pick. Hopefully it might work out for them getting that 7th-round pick.
All right. And as for me, number 3 has to go to the almost said Carolina. Damn. But the Florida Panthers getting Capo Kakinen from the Winnipeg Jets for Chris Driedger. Chris Driedger was obviously was a pretty good backup. Helped the Panthers to win the Stanley Cup. Is very interesting to see him go, but it's also clear that the Panthers are definitely going with the number 1 cop in the force, Sergei Bobrovsky, and really just need a younger backup to take him home. I mean, they also have Spencer. I think they still have Spencer Knight. They might not. Hold on, let me double check. Let me fact check this. Yeah, the Panthers still have Spencer Knight, so it's not like, oh no, they have Vitek Vanacek, so they're good. They're good goaltending depth. So and number 2, my number 2 would definitely go for the Toronto Maple Leafs getting Scott Laughton, a 4th-round pick and a 6th-round pick. Getting it from the Philadelphia Flyers, sending them Nikita Grebenkin, who doesn't really have any stats yet, so he's a prospect, a conditional 2027 first, and the Flyers had to retain salary. So this is a great move for the Leafs. It's just, I think, I'm wondering what the hell Daniel Briere is doing as GM. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, are you rebuilding, or are you just bad at your job? I don't know. And for me, my number one pick, my number 1 trade, has to be, yeah. The Winnipeg Jets getting Brandon Tanev from the Seattle Kraken. I know that's a weird thing to say about Tanev being my number 1 trade, but listen to me. Tanev is grit. Tanev's grit was seen as a very good pick by the Seattle Kraken in the expansion draft. And so it wasn't that bad of a move. Also, it is one of those moves where Urinating Tree absolutely cringed when they traded for Tanev. Actually, yeah, it was either a trade for Tanev or a free agent signing. I can't remember, but it was like one of those moves where, like, what are you doing, JR? I had to find it. And he was actually serviceable, was very good. So it was one of those Tree overreactions that, he kind of doesn't regret. Anywho, that is it for our NHL trade deadline analysis. It's clear There are a lot more trades that could be covered, but again, we'd be here all day. And hey, we have limited ice time. So we're going to get right to the standings. And you know what? We got if I'm going to start anywhere, I'm going to start with the West Side. And I'm going to start with the Central Division. Because the Central Division has the number one team in the NHL. That's the Winnipeg Jets. The opposite of the New York Jets, the former home of future Minnesota Vikings quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Did I just say that out loud? Wait. Anyhow, they're 44, 16, and 4, 92 points. The Dallas Stars are in second. 41, 19, and 2, 84 points. By the way, the reason why I'm surprised about that is because Dallas, I believe, last week was actually in fourth. Because in third is the Colorado Avalanche, 37, 24, and 2, 76 points. The Minnesota Wild, 36, 23, and 4, 76 points. They have fallen, Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the St. Louis Blues, 31, 27, and 6, 68 points. Bennington's not really showing us why he was great in the Four Nations games. Not showing it. Yeah, the Utah Stormin' Mormons, aka the hockey club, 28, 25, and 10, 66 points. The Nashville Predators, 23, 32, and 7, 53 points. Ugh. And the Chicago Blackhawks, 20, 35, and 8, 48 points. Alex, can you cover the Pacific?
Yes, I can. The Vegas Golden Knights are in first place at 38, 18, and 6, 82 points. The Edmonton Oilers are number second at 36, 22, and 4, 76 points. Los Angeles Kings are in third place, 31, 20, and 9, 71 points. In fourth place, the Vancouver Canucks are 29, 22, and 11, 69 points. Number 5, the Calgary Flames, 29, 23, and 10, 68 points. Number 6, the Anaheim Ducks, 27, 28, and 7, 61 points. Seattle Kraken, number 7, 27, 33, and 4, 58 points. And the bottom feeders of all bottom feeders every year, number 8, San Jose Sharks, 17, 38, and 9 at 43 points.
I would have thought at the trade deadline the Anaheim Ducks would have offloaded John Gibson, but hey, I guess you never know. We never know. Maybe a deal wasn't. I think they wanted too much for Gibson. That's probably what it was, or John Gibson didn't want to leave. Either or. All right, now to the Atlantic. I'm going to cover this one. The defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers are in first of the Atlantic Division. 39, 21, and 3, 81 points. The Toronto Maple Leafs, 38, 21, and 3, 79 points. The Tampa Bay Lightning, 37, 22, and 4, 78 points. The Ottawa Senators are good? Wow. 32, 25, and 5, 69. Nice points. The Montreal Canadiens are surging. 30, 26, and 6, 66 points. The Detroit Red Wings, 30, 27, and 6, 66 points. And the Boston Bruins, 29, 28, and 8, 66 points. And the bottom feeders of the Atlantic Division are the Buffalo Sabres, 24, 31, and 6, 54 points. Alex!
Yes.
Cover the Metro.
And the team fighting for the President's Trophy, the Washington Capitals, are leading the Metropolitan Division at 41, 14, and 8 with 90 points. The Carolina Hurricanes are in second place at 37, 22, and 4, 78 points. Number 3 are the New Jersey Devils, 33, 25, and 6, 72 points. Number 4, the Columbus Blue Jackets, 30, 24, 8, and 8, 68 points. The New York Rangers, number 5, 31, 26, and 6, 68 points. Number 6, the New York Islanders, 28, 26, and 7, 63 points. The Philadelphia Flyers, number 7, 27, 29, and 8, 62 points. And the Pittsburgh Penguins, number 8, and the bottom feeders in the Metropolitan Division at 24, 31, and 10, 58 points.
How let's talk before we get into our games of the weekend. We need to talk a little bit. The standings have really fluctuated. Last week, the Devils were number 2. Now they're behind the Hurricanes. But it's amazing to see the Columbus Blue Jackets are in the playoff race. Where they are. It's amazing that they're fighting through the tragedy of losing Johnny Gaudreau. It's amazing. It's great to see. Let's hope that Columbus turns this into a great run. Not gonna lie.
I agree with you on that one.
All right. So now we're going to do our games of the weekend and Monday. And that, of course, will be brought to you by Bulletproof Coffee. The ad read will be after we discuss the games. So, tomorrow, we've got a lot. So tomorrow we'll have the Devils and Flyers, the Penguins Wild, the Kraken Capitals, Jets Hurricanes, Blue Jackets Rangers, Kings Golden Knights, Stars Canucks, and Islanders and Ducks. And Monday we'll have the Oilers and Sabres, Red Wings and Senators, Blackhawks and Avalanche, and the Maple Leafs against Utah. Alex, you know the rules, and so do I.
My first game for Sunday is going to be a surprising one for me. Will be the Jets and the Hurricanes. Obviously, the Hurricanes dumping Mikko Rantanen at the trade deadline to the Dallas Stars. How can they bounce back from that and take on the best team in hockey at home in the home ice? It's a very interesting way to look at it. And if see Carl Hellebuyck can keep his grind going at the Vezina Trophy, because obviously he is the frontrunner, has been for the past 5 months of the season since December of last year. He has been a crazy addition to this Jets team, and he has been the best goalie on the best team in hockey in a shocking fashion.
Nice. Game 2.
Game 2 is going to be for the Penguins and the Wild. Two teams that are battling. Well, not only battling, the Wild are battling for the playoff position. The Penguins are just playing just to finish out the season to get it over with.
Let me add something to that. This is also a return home to Marc-Andre Fleury. This is Marc-Andre Fleury's last season. So again, this is a return home. That's probably the best tagline you can give. It's a return home. A return home again. Well, they're hosting the Penguins, but still, the Penguins, his old team. Excuse me.
I did not know that. That's interesting to know.
There you go.
And then my one game for Monday, I'm going to the latest slate of games with the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Utah Hockey Club. The Utah Hockey Club has been in a position they have not seen in a long time as a fresh team in the NHL. And they're looking.
Former Arizona Coyote, the former Arizona Coyotes.
Yes, they are in a position that they haven't seen in a long time. Obviously, the Coyotes haven't been a good franchise in a long time. The Hockey Club is looming on that first spot in the playoffs. They're not that far behind the Wild. They're creeping on the Blues. They need to win this game, and I feel like the Maple Leafs are also playing for everything. They are on another team that is trying to secure the top 3 spot in the playoffs because they are right behind the Panthers, down 2 points. So the maybe are hoping the Panthers trash out and lose the game so they can get in that top spot in the Eastern Conference. It's gonna be a fun Sunday and Monday of games. I cannot wait to see how they all unfold.
And to be fair to the Maple Leafs, just because you're not going to be able to face Boston doesn't mean you're going to get far into the playoffs. That's all I got to say on that. But getting back to the games of the weekend, I'm going back to back here as far as like the scheduling is concerned. I'm going my first game with the Blue Jackets and Rangers. Like seriously, those two teams are neck and neck for a playoff spot. The Rangers are nipping at the heels of the Blue Jackets, and the Blue Jackets need those 2 points. So, and then I've got a pretty brand new but darn good rivalry with the Vegas Golden Knights hosting the LA Kings. This is a good Western Conference rivalry, and I love to see it. And then finally, and I hate to pick on this team. I'm gonna pick the Edmonton Oilers facing off against the Buffalo Sabres. Connor McJesus is in the area. You know he's gonna do well. So see what he does against a lowly Sabres team that just can't get any traction at all. Enough said. And that is it for our games of the weekend. And of course, we all know what that was brought to you by. That was brought to you by our friends at Bulletproof Coffee. Bulletproof Coffee definitely wants you to get started with the right fuel. A good cup of coffee is always a good thing in the morning, especially when spring has not sprung up yet and daylight savings time is upon us. Not only do they do coffee, they also do supplements. They got greens, they got collagen, they got MCT oil, they have protein bars, and they have other things in mind. Heck, you might even want to do it in a bundle, like in a subscription box service. And you know what? I'm going to say this openly. I, Cobra, would like you, our listener, to give Bulletproof Coffee a shot. Support the channel, show the channel some love, use our affiliate link in the bio wherever you get your podcasts. Show the channel some love. Bulletproof Coffee. Yes. All right. Well, that's it for Biscuits and Penalties tonight. Of course, special shout outs, of course, to the Dirt and Turf podcast, which we had yesterday. That was a crazy episode. We were talking about our top 5 baseball movies and Pete Rose potentially entering Cooperstown. We also have the Lap Down podcast that also happened yesterday for our friend Greg Farmer. Definitely did a great job hosting our racing podcast. We also have the Social Slam podcast tomorrow night. Literally, it is going to be tomorrow. We're not going to miss talking about John Cena's heel turn. We got to do it. It is tomorrow night. And of course, we have the hard count. We are going to have a special episode tonight after Biscuits and Penalties. So be on the listen for that. Of course, a special shout out, of course, to our affiliates. All those links are in the bio wherever you get your podcasts. Show the channel some love as always. And we're also not only on Spotify, but we're on YouTube and TikTok for as long as that's on until the ruling that the Supreme Court had kicks in. But hey, we have it till we don't. But do check us out. After all, you don't want to miss out on the Yinzer. Thank you, Yinzer. Anyhow, got to deal with him. any of them. All right, that's the Zamboni, Alex. We got to step off. That's it for Biscuits and Penalties, guys. We'll definitely see you next week, everyone.